It happened one day in my studio. I was with a client, Mrs. Havel, taking measurements and redrawing for a 4-piece dining set. She'd insisted the first 4 were too wide and the arms were uncomfortable on the elbows. Chairs of the caliber I make are meant to be set in a certain way, not that I'd ever blame a customer. No intricate details, no complicated joint work, no accents, no complex varnishes. Elegance and simplicity, my specialties. I was fast, I was focused, I was efficient. For the most part. I was too proud to ask for help. I would have said, I'm okay, je to v pořádku. But the pain had rendered me mute. Rapid onset C-type right-leaning scoliosis was the doctor's exact diagnosis. To paraphrase, my back has gone bad. She was startled by how long my symptoms had gone unnoticed. What symptoms, I asked her. The obvious ones, she replied. I laid on the floor and stayed there for an hour, maybe a day or 2. It was the longest I've ever felt sorry for myself. I had to return to my work. I settled for the quickest solution. The sensation was almost alien. Discomfort doesn't even begin to describe it. I neglected to admit to her that despite being a master chair carpenter, I myself had sat down maybe a total of 5 times in the last 2 decades. I can't exactly explain this phenomenon. I've always been too busy to think about such things. I rummaged through old designs in search of a contending cure. I was so intent on getting comfortable, I almost pulled a muscle. Why should I have expected these chairs to fit my form? I didn't make them for me. The scoliosis hadn't damaged my brain, but things were cloudy. I was lost. I found myself in a forest. On the tram ride over, I tried to take a seat, but there was a remarkable surplus of old women, and I'm nothing if not polite. The open air. It was amazing to inhale and not have a nose full of sawdust. I wish I could say I let my intuition guide me, but I was chaperoned around by a lumberjack named Dan. I wouldn't call myself a socialite, but Dan was just downright unsympathetic. He gleefully directed me to his past week's work. What was he thinking? They were all rotten. Not even a toothpick worth of a good wood in the pile. Each had lived long lives only to become fuel in some forsaken fireplace. It was sad, but I'd learned to use emotion as motivation. I'd hate to meet a similar fate. I returned to the studio with some fresher furnishings. Why had I waited so long to start from scratch? Success and solace were well within reach. It went horribly wrong. I was embarrassed even though I was alone. Frustration overcame me. The remnants in my studio were repulsive. Pieces of past models since discontinued, scraps pulled and repurposed from storage, embarrassments and wastes of space. At the Technical Institute, I wrote lengthy papers on ergonomics and oxology. My knowledge of these topics had suddenly escaped me. Everything felt unfamiliar. I could hardly stand it. I obviously couldn't sit it either. "What about that one?" Dan said. I wish I had been the one to see it first. All he had to do was point. I once possessed such level-headedness, but lately I had seen everything at a slight angle. It was excellent. Spruce. Smrk. It smirked at me. The tree made me feel trivial. If I wanted to sit straight up, this tree was going to have to come down. Dan informed me the tree would be chopped by the next week regardless. It was dying. The tree felt strong enough to me. I thought I might die of a heart attack right there and then. Part of me wished I had. I should have turned the trunk into a coffin, then I could have skipped sitting and just laid down in it forever. I pushed the thought out of my mind. I drew only what I had to. The chair was completed with record speed. In my focus, I had almost forgotten about my ailment. I was brutally reminded of it as I stared the chair down. The chair stared back.